Hey guys, it's Mike with Gettin Greasy Garage. So, back on the $1,000 Turbo 4.8 project, had to relocate everything to my shop just for convenience. It turns out it's easier to move the project to the tools than it is to move the tools to the project. So, last video I showed you guys the crank. I got it all the way out, and got the cam out. Everything was fine there. So just with the block, everything's good. Bores are good. None of the bearings spun. However, these cam bearings took a beating with lack of oil. Kind of hard to see, but you can see they're down to copper. On this upper surface, there's metal that I don't know if it came in through the oil passage or if it was metal on this bearing start to peel. But I'm going to go ahead and take this block in and have it hot tanked. That way I'm assured that all the metal debris gets out. And also have new cam bearings pressed in. That's something I don't have a tool for, and I'm not exactly interested in doing myself. So, it took a while because I had to locate a crankshaft. None of our local engine part suppliers had them. I finally ended up finding a remachined 4.8 crank out of Indiana on eBay. The guy was real nice to deal with. Turned the rods 10 and the mains 10. On my particular application, I've got the 58 times reluctor wheel. He went ahead and switched that, put the right one on the crank I ordered. Crank kit was like $366 with free shipping or something like that. Let's see. I still kind of just got moved everything over here, and getting into this thing. Lots of cleanup to do. There's our oil pan, and basically the big point to this video is the rather large unboxing. So I'm going to kind of divide this up into two parts. Stuff totally related to just the engine build, and then we'll get into the turbo stuff. The first thing I want to talk about is this particular book from SA Designs, How to Rebuild GM LS Series Engines. Now, I've built several motors, so, I wasn't looking for the step-by-step. What I was looking for was, torque specs and diagrams and just tips and tricks. And this book is excellent. It's glossy pages. They got a lot of great tips. Talk about parts. There's money-saving stuff, tools, stuff you can, tricks you can do without tools. Here's on setting up timing chain. Let's see here. I'll flip another page. I love these torque diagrams. And then, all the torque specs are clearly listed. But, this book is well put together. If you're new to LSs and you want to build one, I highly, highly, highly recommend this book. It's SA 147, Workbench How to SA Designs. I found this one on Amazon. You can also find them on eBay. It was like $30. Great amount of money, well spent. So, because LSs are their own animal, they're not a small block Chevrolet of old. So, I went ahead and bought a few specialty tools just to make life easier. Generally, I usually make tools, but so this is for the rear main seal for centering the rear cover and for installing the, I'm sorry, this is for the front. For centering the cover, front cover, and for installing the front seal. Likewise for the rear cover. LSs have a rear main seal cover. You put this on, you put your cover on, then you put your seal in. And then this tool here bolts on. And this is for aligning the front cover as well. $35 Amazon. And then, there's our book on the floor. Lots of stuff in the little room. I got a on the head valve spring compressor. This was a $21 cheapie. It does have its flaws. If I was you, I'd spend better money, up around $40, $50 for one. I do have the old C-clamp style valve spring compressor, but I like these. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna use. So that was really the only specialty tools. Bought a gasket set, which is the Felpro with the MLS head gaskets. This is the complete set. 260 1973. Got new head bolts. Now there's a lot of guys on YouTube and other places that reuse head bolts. Well, for $22 a set, it takes 2 sets. I went ahead and got new head bolts. And ES 72173 bolt set for all your LS flavors. Now this is a Gen 3 that I'm building. So went ahead and got the Brian Tooley Racing Stage 2 cam. And it comes with new valve springs for the higher lift and new valve seals with built-in shim. There's cam specs. You can hit pause and read over that. This cam got excellent reviews all the way around. Richard Holdner does a lot of testing with this one. This is the cam that is known as the Sloppy Mechanics Stage 2 cam. Can be used with a stock torque converter, which I'm going to use. Went ahead and got a new Cloy's timing set. Got a new milling oil pump, standard pressure, standard volume. And here's our remachined crankshaft. And it did come with Clevite rod and main bearings supplied with the kit. What else we got here? Getting more to the outside of the motor. This is from AutoZone, MCK 1007. This is a water pump kit and new fan clutch. I have had some of these fan clutches fail on these LSs, so this as a kit was around $167, I think. It was quite a bit of a savings. Now you can find these kits on Amazon as well. So with the engine, I'll walk back over here. I am simply going to, tear down the heads, clean everything up, new valve seals. I will hand lap the valves just to check that everything seals up good. Clean all the surfaces, paint everything up. On the pistons, we're using the stock pistons. This engine had 115,000 on it. So bores were in great shape. Rings and pistons are as well. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the factory rings. Gap them for turbo specifications, which I'll get into that in a future video. And then clean the pistons up and the ring grooves, put everything back together. If you so choose, you could use new rings. I don't see any reason to. Not for what I'm putting together here. Okay. So, turbo kit. There's a lot here. Everything came in that big box. all at once. This is an eBay turbo kit. It was right around 1,750 bucks, 1,800 bucks delivered. Now, they really, as far as I'm concerned, they thought of everything. This is all the oil return line kit for the turbo. They give you an electric cooling fan for your radiator or for your intercooler. It came with a battery relocation kit. I don't know if I'm going to have to relocate my battery or not in the application that I'm doing, but I have it. It came with a roll of header wrap. All the turbo duct work. These are all the silicone boots and clamps. Wastegate, blow-off valve. Now, bear with me on my terminology. You guys call them one thing, I'll call them another, but you get the point. It came with this inexpensive turbo timer. These are more parts for the oil feed and return. Manual boost control. Here's the turbo itself. Pretty nice looking unit, nice and tight, spins nice. It's on a T4 flange. Oil catch can. A Summit Racing air filter. A pretty nice aluminum intercooler. Fuel filter kit, or fuel pressure regulator kit if you're running a carburetor. I'm going to use the factory intake and factory injection, so I won't be using this particular part. And here's another little kit that I bought. Got the aluminum dumbbell and a couple of oil restrictor parts that go in the block. Let's see. Oh, the important thing to this. The manifolds. So these are the turbo manifolds. This you bolt on your passenger side. Your turbo mounts right here. This you bolt to your driver's side. And you have a crossover pipe that connects underneath the engine to that. Now, I'm in Western Washington. It's pretty moist here. I went ahead and blew some high temp engine paint on these manifolds just so they wouldn't rust. I will finish paint them before they go on. I was going to show you guys the crossover pipe. I'm kind of wandering around here, but it's a lot to look at. So, I realize it's in the bubble wrap, but this is the crossover pipe that connects the two manifolds. The only thing this kit did not come with that I can see is some sort of exhaust pipe, at least even a 90 or a straight section to come out of the turbo. Would have been nice, but I think all in all, they did pretty well, thinking of everything. Some more parts. And, oh, nice fuel filter. I don't know why it's blue and red, but, you know, it came with all this in the kits, and, very well thought out kit. All the hardware, everything needed. And pretty well plug and play. Now, this is my first foray into turbo stuff. I've been reading and researching and looking into this for a long time. So as I run into curveballs and bumps in the road, you guys will see them in the videos. We'll learn together. But there's a lot of stuff here. I think all told, and there's other stuff. There's you know, fluids for stuff. The transmission's out being rebuilt. I'll do a video separately on that. I think before the transmission, with everything to build the engine and turbo it, we're right about $3,400. That's just parts. That's not labor or anything. Now, I called around and priced out a replacement long block, and it doesn't matter from who. I was told $4,100. So, $4,100 just for an engine, and then to turbo it. With the cam kit and the turbo kit, that's $2,200. So that would have been, $6,500 roughly. By the time you get all the other doodads and doohickeys and bells and whistles and all the other miscellaneous parts that you need. Some stuff you can reuse if you choose. I do and don't do that. Just depends on what the item is. Again, I am no expert at this. Excuse me. You do yours how you want to do it, and I'm going to do this how I want to do it. And then we will see the end results together soon. God, I know there was something else I'm forgetting, but yeah, for basically labor to pull the motor apart, clean everything up, cam bearings, hot tank, crank kit, gaskets, it'll be about $1,000 just to put the motor back together. And that includes the cam, which that cam alone runs really well in these, naturally aspirated. It also works great as a turbo cam. So Richard Holdner did a test on these 4.8s with that cam, and pretty impressive. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave comments and questions down below, down somewhere down there where you're supposed to, and I'll do my best to answer them. Again, I'm no expert at this. I'm just a lifelong gearhead and doing a little bit of learning as I go. And I don't mind watching some YouTube videos, nor do I mind using really nice books like that book. If you're going to play with these LSs and you're new to them, I highly recommend that. Like I said, the only thing I had a hard time finding was the gasket set and the crankshaft. And that's just, maybe it's like everything, like toilet paper and hand sanitizer. It's hard to get right now. I don't know, but I finally managed to get everything together. And we'll be getting into this. So, my first order of business, I'm going to wrap this bad boy up in a bag and get her down to the machine shop so they can throw it in the dishwasher and swap out the cam bearings for me. I didn't buy cam bearings. I'll just go ahead and get them from them. And that way they can replace them. I don't have that tool, nor do I plan on buying one. And the next thing we're going to get into is cleaning up the rods and pistons and rings and everything. And once we get the block back, we will size the rings to the cylinders. And we'll get into the mathematics on figuring out ring gap for this turbo. So, excuse my mess. I was halfway through cleaning the shop before I moved everything over here. So, before I get too carried away on building this, we're going to get a good shop cleanup going. But, alright guys, well, this is about long enough out of me. Showed you all the nice, shiny, go fast goodies. And, when I'm done with putting the motor together, I'm going to go ahead and mount the turbo and everything, the intercooler, the whole works on the engine stand, just as a mock-up test fit before I put it back in the truck. And when I do that video, I will do a list of components and where I got them, part numbers, things like that, so that if you want to duplicate a build like this, you can. And again, not an expert, so if you see something that catches your eye that you think you ought to point out, feel free, and we'll get through this together. Alright guys, thanks for watching, thank you for supporting the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.